All right, today I'm going to be making this video to basically show you exactly how I was able to build my physique as a vegetarian without eating any meat at all, and just show you exactly what I did and the steps I took to get to where I am today. Go into detail about my story, my background, where I came from, why I decided to go vegetarian, and just remove any limiting beliefs you may have about a plant based diet and building muscle without eating meat and just showing you that it's possible, bro. Because I know a lot of people tend to think that you can't build muscle without eating meat and this and that. All that's BS, right? I'm living proof that you can be having the same physique, be healthy, be strong, and look good without having to, eat dead animals, right? I've been vegetarian for about 3 years now, and I just feel amazing, bro. I'm 10 times healthier. I feel better, look better, recovery is better. I'm able to stay lean easier, I feel like, because my diet consists of a lot of fiber, a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, things like that that keep me satiated and full for longer, which, basically suppresses your appetite, right? But I just feel better overall. Um, Getting right into it, as you can see in the middle, this is me at 13 years old, and I was a super skinny kid, right? I was always into fitness because I played baseball and basketball, for more majority of my life, but I never really had the physique that I wanted to have, right? I had a little bit of muscle, but I was still skinny and ultimately just unhappy with the way that my body looked. But I knew I wanted to make a change one day. I just got tired of being a skinny kid, and that's exactly what I did. I decided to make a change. I didn't know where to start or how to start. I just knew I needed to start, and that's exactly what I did. Fast forward, 3.5 years later, this is me now. Absolute dream physique, bro. Like, I'm shredded, bigger than I ever could have imagined, healthier, and I am just genuinely confident in my body. Like, when I look in the mirror, I'm genuinely happy with what I see, right? And it feels good because coming from a kid who was skinny most of his life and had a mid physique to, having the physique I have now, it just feels like surreal because honestly, like, you put the work in for so long, you feel like you're not really seeing no progress. You just keep showing up, keep putting the work in. Eventually, the results they come, bro. So it's just life changing, right? But I was able to do all of this without tracking calories or obsessing over macros, without eating meat just to build muscle, and without spending hours cooking complicated meals every single day. Now, get into my story, right? So, growing up, I never ate pork, but I did eat chicken, fish, and red meat occasionally. Now, when I met my stepdad, he was a big meat eater and pretty overweight. And because of that, our house was always filled with processed meats and red meat, things like steaks, sausages, hot dogs, and things like that. Don't mind my camera system in the back, bro. But and being young and constantly around those foods, I naturally started eating them more and more, and it just became a normal part of my diet. Now, this is when I realized something was wrong. Eventually, I started noticing something was off. My energy was always low. I felt sluggish. I couldn't think clearly, and my endurance was absolutely garbage. Something about the way I was eating clearly wasn't working. My stepdad started noticing it too. He realized that if he wanted to be around for his kids long term, he had to fix his diet. And if I wanted to be healthier, become healthier, and feel better every day, I had to fix mine too. Now, why I started questioning meat. So we started looking deeper into what we were eating every day, and one thing kept coming up over and over again: red meats and processed meats. Study after study was strongly linking high consumption of red and processed meats to higher risk of heart disease, inflammation, and high blood pressure and certain cancers. And that made me start wondering, if these foods were harming my health, why was I eating them every single day? So in 2021, after doing deeper research on healthier diets, we decided to try something different. Now, the first diet we tried was the pescatarian diet, and at the time, it felt like the perfect middle ground for us because, for one, I never in my life would have thought that I would have stopped eating meat and became a vegetarian, right? Because I ate meat most of my life. So, trying to find a diet that was healthier but realistic for me at the moment, pescatarian felt like the perfect middle ground because it's basically plant based, but you still eating seafood, right? So during our research, we came across something called the pescatarian diet. A pescatarian diet removes red meat and processed meats, but still allows fish and seafood. And at the time, like I said, it felt like the perfect middle ground. We didn't want to give up meat completely yet, but we knew we needed something healthier and more sustainable than what we were already doing. So we decided to give it a shot. And honestly, the difference was noticeable pretty quickly. My energy started improving. I felt lighter. I wasn't constantly feeling sluggish anymore. And what was supposed to be just a short experiment turned into a full year of me eating pescatarian. And during that time, we noticed huge improvements in how we felt overall. But it just still wasn't there for me, right? So this was a big year of change. Around this same time in 2021, a lot changed in my life. My family and I moved from Chicago to Dallas, Texas. And living in Texas, I had started getting into something I had never really done before, and that was fishing. I was constantly out catching fish, cleaning them myself, and cooking them at home. Since I was already eating a pescatarian diet, it felt pretty normal to me at first. But the more I was catching, cleaning, and cooking the fish myself, the more eating it just didn't feel right anymore. And eventually I got to the point where I was honestly just tired of eating fish altogether. But at the time, I didn't stop eating meat completely yet. And as you can see here, this is me once I moved to Texas. Like I said, I started fishing a lot, doing a lot of catch, clean, cooks, and I just got tired of eating fish, bro. Like I was eating it so much. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I was eating it so much, and like I said, catching them and cooking them myself, that it just started to not feel right to me no more. And I went like a week and a half without eating fish, and I was like, I don't need to eat fish no more, right? So my first year in the gym, during this same time in 2021, I also started going to the gym for the first time. Like most beginners, I had no idea what I was doing, bro. I was just trying different workouts, learning exercises, and figuring things out as I went. And even though my diet was much healthier on the pescatarian diet, I was still skinny and unhappy with how my body looked. As you can see here, this is me. In 2021, I was on a pescatarian diet, eating healthier, eating cleaner. I just started going to the gym for the first time, and I was just still skinny, bro. I was unconfident and unhappy with the way that my body looked. But I was still showing up, still trying to build muscle, but I was just still, unhappy. I wanted to build muscle. I wanted to feel more confident in my body, but despite going to the gym consistently, I wasn't seeing the kind of progress I had hoped for. I cannot talk today. But again, this is me here. Um, I was 13, 14 at the time, and like I said, I was still showing up constantly, trying to learn different exercises, new movements, and just figuring it out, bro. Like, I was still skinny, spinning my wheels and just trying. Oh, why do I keep clicking this, bro? I was still, spinning my wheels and just trying to build muscle, bro, because I was skinny and I was tired of being, unhappy with how my body looked. And that's when I started realizing something. Maybe the problem wasn't just my training. Maybe it was also the way I was eating. As time passed, I started learning more about nutrition and fitness. And eventually I started asking myself something. What would happen if I stopped eating meat completely? Now, why I decided to go vegetarian. Over the next couple of years, I kept learning more about nutrition, health, and training. And the more I thought about my experiences catching and cleaning fish myself, the more I started questioning whether I wanted to keep eating meat at all. And eventually, I got to a point where eating meat just didn't feel right to me anymore. So in 2023, I decided to try going fully vegetarian. But once I made that change, I ran into a completely new problem, right? And as you can see here, this is me catching the fish, like I said, cleaning it, getting ready to cook it. And being vegetarian for 3 years, like, I'm at the point now where I see meat and I get disgusted, bro. Like, looking at this now, like, I can't believe I was eating this, bro. Just flesh, blood, dead animals, bro. Like, I can't do it, right? But the problem I ran into as a vegetarian was building muscle, right? Building muscle without eating meat was a lot harder than I expected at first. Every piece of fitness advice I saw online said the same thing: eat chicken, eat steak, eat fish. And when I looked for vegetarian advice, it was either confusing, extreme, or it just didn't work for me. Some people say you had to track every calorie and macro perfectly. Others say you needed tons of protein powders and supplements in order to build muscle. And a lot of that advice just felt completely unrealistic, and it was. I just wanted a simple way to build muscle and look great without eating meat. So I started experimenting with different training and nutrition approaches until eventually I discovered something that completely changed everything for me. And that thing was the plant based hypertrophy blueprint. Now, here's a mistake that most vegetarians trying to build muscle make. They think that building muscle without meat is complicated. And I thought the same thing when I first started out, right? They think they need perfectly tracked macros, tons of protein powders, complicated meal plans, and extreme diets. And that's exactly why they stay confused, inconsistent, and stuck. Because what actually works is the complete opposite. Now, intro to the method. The approach I use is called the plant based hypertrophy blueprint, and it's built around one simple idea. You don't need meat to build an insane physique, but you do need to structure your training and your nutrition the right way. Now, principle number one is protein anchoring, which is probably the most, probably the biggest thing that vegetarians struggle with, right? Protein intake. Now, most vegetarians fail because their meals are random. They snack, they guess, they hope they're getting enough protein, but muscle isn't built on guessing. So instead of tracking every single macro, I build my meals around one simple rule. Every meal must be anchored around a real protein source. Not afterthought, not I'll get it later, but intentional protein in every single meal. And that alone changes everything for me. Principle number two is calorie momentum without tracking. Most people either undereat and stay skinny or overcomplicate calories and burn out, which is what I did throughout my journey. Like I used to track every single macro, every single calorie. I would be stressed out about going over my calories, not getting my protein, not getting my fats, my carbs, and I was just stressed out, bro. It felt like a job real quick, and it started to control me, right? Because I look at fitness as a way to improve my life and not control it. And the moment you start looking at fitness as a way to control your life is when you're gonna burn out. So calorie momentum was probably the most important thing for me, along with protein anchoring. Um, I didn't track calories, but I did focus on something more important: building calorie momentum over time, right? Eating slightly more, fueling performance, and letting my body grow gradually instead of forcing it. This allowed me to build muscle without obsessing over numbers. Now, principle number three is hypertrophy signaling. Most people train, but they don't train in a way that actually tells the body to grow. I focus on one thing: sending my body a clear signal to grow. Control reps, full range of motion, and progressive overload over time. Not ego lifting, but intentional hypertrophy focused training, right? Principle number four is diet identity shift. This is where everything changed for me personally. Most people are always trying a diet, testing something new, going back and forth. But I stopped trying to be a vegetarian and became someone who eats this way. It wasn't temporary, it became part of my identity. And when your identity changes, consistency becomes automatic. When I combined all of these, everything started to change. After years of consistency and following this system, I was finally able to build the physique I once thought was impossible. And as you can see here, this is me a lot now, like I said, shredded, hella muscle, and I just feel amazing, bro. But more than that, I gained confidence I had never had before. I developed a stronger mindset, more discipline, more belief in myself, and it changed my life far beyond fitness. For the first time in my life, I truly felt proud of the person I was becoming. Now, my lifestyle. The first one is confidence. My confidence is higher than it's ever been, and it feels so good to genuinely be happy with the person I see in the mirror every single day. Second one is inner peace. For the first time in my life, I feel at peace. No more overthinking my diet. No more stressing about what to eat. No more second guessing my progress. I know what works. Everything is simple. Everything is structured, and everything's under control. Third one is self mastery. Right. The biggest thing I've learned is self mastery. Truly having discipline, focus, and control over my life. Coming from a kid who was skinny, insecure, and didn't feel confident in his own body to becoming someone who's disciplined, focused, and proud of who he's becoming. This didn't just change my physique, it changed my entire life. And it all started with one simple decision: to finally show up for myself. Yo, this camera in the back is killing me right now. Um, yo, what is going on? Hold on. All right, so I have an opportunity for you. The truth is, you don't need more information, right? If that were the problem, you already have the physique you want because everything is already out there. You got YouTube, you got Instagram, you got TikTok, you got ChatGPT, you got all of it, right? And yet you're still not where you want to be. You're still second guessing, still inconsistent, and still spinning your wheels because the real problem isn't information, it's structure, guidance, and real execution. So, what if instead of trying to figure everything out on your own, you had a proven system to follow, step by step guidance, and someone keeping you accountable in order to achieve your goals? I promise you, this will change your life, bro. So, get into who this is for. This is for men who are serious about changing, ready to be consistent, done with slow progress, tired of guessing, wants real structure, and wants a lean aesthetic physique. Now, this is not for you if you are looking for a quick fix, aren't serious about changing, don't believe it's possible without eating meat, aren't willing to stay consistent, make excuses instead of adjustments, and have too big of an ego, right? You got to be willing to take criticism from someone like me who is in the position that you want to be in, and not from yourself who, isn't where you want to be, right? You've been trying on your own and you haven't got to where you want to be. Now, these are the three reasons why you're still not seeing results. Number one is no structure. You're not failing because you're lazy. You just don't have a system. You're guessing your meals, guessing your protein, and hoping it all adds up. But muscle isn't built on guessing. It's built on structure. Number two is poor muscle stimulus. You're working out, but not in a way that actually builds muscle. You're doing random exercises, not controlling your reps, and not progressively overloading properly. So even though you're putting in effort, you're not giving your body a reason to grow. Number three is inconsistent nutrition. Your diet isn't necessarily bad, it's just inconsistent. Some days you eat enough, some days you don't. Some meals have protein, others don't. And without consistency, your body can't build anything. Now, the biggest lie you've been told is this, right? I'm sure we've all heard it. Is you can't build muscle or you can't build an aesthetic physique without eating meat, which is just simply not the case, right? I'm living proof of that. You've probably heard it before. You need chicken. You need chicken, steak, and fish to actually build muscle, but it's not true. Here's what's actually happening. Without the right structure, you're guessing your protein intake. You don't know if foods actually help you grow. Your workouts feel random and inconsistent. Your progress is slower and non-existent, and eventually, you start to believe it's actually your diet holding you back. And that's why most vegetarians stay stuck for months or even years. Not because it's impossible, but because they don't have the right system. But here's the difference with this approach. You follow a structured plant-based system built for muscle growth. You know exactly how to hit your protein without overthinking. Your training is aligned with your nutrition, and everything is designed to be simple, sustainable, and effective. So instead of guessing, you just follow the blueprint and finally see real results. Now, I'm getting to my program, Perks and Benefits. These are the exact six fundamentals that I use to build my physique, gain confidence, and take real control over my life, all while staying plant based and not eating any meat. I know what it's like to feel lost, insecure, and stuck, and I know how to fix it. The plant based hypertrophy blueprint isn't just about looking good, it's about becoming the man you're meant to be. Now, number one is mindset mastery. You're not just building muscle, you're becoming someone different. You'll break out of the skinny, insecure identity and start seeing yourself as someone who is disciplined, confident, and in control. And this is where everything changes. Number two is optimized workouts. You won't be doing random workouts anymore. Every exercise has a real purpose. You'll follow a structured training plan designed to build an aesthetic physique, shoulders, chest, back, and arms, while progressively getting stronger where it actually shows. Number three is plant-based nutrition plan. You get a plan built specifically for your body and your goals, nothing just basic cookie cutter. You'll stop guessing your protein and overthinking your meals. You will know exactly how to build muscle without eating meat. Everything is structured to help you hit your goals while still enjoying the food you like. Number four is structure and accountability. You won't be left guessing what to do next. I'll make sure you know exactly what to do week by week so you stay dialed in. From your workouts to your nutrition to your habits, you have clear guidance and feedback to ensure you stay consistent and keep progressing. Number five is simplicity over overwhelm. Most people fail because they overcomplicate everything, right? This system simplifies it all. No strict dieting, no obsession, no unnecessary rules, just what actually works done consistently. Now, number six is direct access to me. You're not just doing this alone, bro. When you join the program, you get direct access to my guidance, my experience, and my personal support. You'll be able to ask questions, get clarity, and make sure your plan is always aligned with your goals. No more second guessing, just clear direction and consistent progress. Now, next steps. If you're ready to build a lean, aesthetic physique, gain real confidence, and take control of your life without eating meat and overcomplicating everything, you can book in a call with me directly, and on the call, we'll break down your goals, what's been holding you back, and the exact steps you need to take in order to start seeing real progress. I'll make sure everything is clear, simple, and actually works for you. Book in a call below, and I'll see if you're a good fit for the program.